Most people think success is obvious. They look at results, money, confidence, recognition, and assume talent or luck must be the cause. But what they're actually seeing is the surface. Psychologically, the human mind is drawn to visible outcomes, not invisible processes. This is why the most important part of success is often ignored: the routine. No one applauds. Successful people are rarely doing something extraordinary in public. What separates them happens in private, on days that feel boring and repetitive. It's the same wake up time, the same focused work block, the same decision to practice instead of procrastinate. These actions don't look impressive, which is exactly why most people dismiss them. But repetition trains the brain. Over time, the mind stops resisting effort and starts expecting it. Philosophically, success is not a performance, it's a pattern. Talent may open a door, but routine decides whether you stay inside. The routine builds skill when motivation is low, clarity when emotions are messy, and progress when nothing seems to be happening. This is why two people with similar potential end up in completely different places. Most people chase what looks successful. Successful people commit to what creates success, even when no one is watching. If you want different results, stop copying outcomes. Start copying the routine that quietly produces them. After you understand the importance of the unseen routine, the next realization is this: success is not built on special days. It is built on ordinary ones. Psychologically, the mind tends to wait for the right moment, the day when energy is high, conditions are perfect, and everything feels aligned. But those days are rare. Life is mostly made of normal, uneventful days, and how you handle them determines everything. Successful people don't treat average days as something to endure until something exciting happens. They treat them as the main event. On days with no pressure, no deadlines, and no recognition, they still follow the routine. This is where the separation happens. Anyone can work hard when the stakes are high. Very few people show up when nothing is at risk. Philosophically, this is where character is built. Character is not revealed in moments of intensity. It is formed in moments of repetition. The habits practiced on quiet days slowly compound into discipline, focus, and self-trust. Over time, these qualities become automatic. Most people waste ordinary days and hope extraordinary moments will save them. Successful people do the opposite. They invest in ordinary days and let time turn them into extraordinary results. If you want a different future, don't wait for a special day. Make today's ordinary routine non-negotiable. At some point, motivation stops cooperating. Energy drops, excitement fades, and the routine begins to feel heavy. This is where most people assume something is wrong. But psychologically, this moment is expected. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. Successful people understand this early, so they don't build their progress on how they feel. They build it on discipline. Discipline is not about force or suffering. It is about removing choice. When a routine is fixed, the brain no longer wastes energy deciding whether to act. It simply follows the pattern. This reduces mental friction and preserves focus. Over time, disciplined action becomes automatic, not heroic. This is why disciplined people appear calm and consistent. They are not negotiating with themselves every day. Philosophically, discipline is a form of self-respect. It is the decision to honor long-term values over short-term comfort. On days when motivation disappears, discipline quietly protects progress. It ensures that effort continues even when emotions don't cooperate. Most people wait to feel ready. Successful people act because the decision was already made. That difference compounds faster than talent or intelligence ever could. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline carries it forward. When feelings fade, routine decides who keeps moving. Once discipline is in place, the next quiet advantage appears: time stops being accidental. Most people spend their days reacting, responding to messages, distractions, and other people's priorities. Psychologically, this keeps the mind in a constant defensive mode, draining focus without producing progress. Successful people do something different. They decide how their time will be used before the day begins. This isn't about rigid schedules or controlling every minute. It's about intention. When time has no structure, it gets filled by whatever demands attention the loudest. But when a routine exists, even a simple one, attention is protected. The brain knows what matters, so it stops chasing everything else. This reduces cognitive overload and creates space for deep, meaningful work. Philosophically, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. Hours are not neutral. They either move you closer to who you want to become or quietly pull you away. Successful people understand this, which is why they guard their time more fiercely than their comfort. They don't ask, "What do I feel like doing today?" They ask, "What deserves my energy today?" Over weeks and months, this approach compounds. Progress becomes steady instead of chaotic. Effort feels lighter because it's focused. Time stops feeling like an enemy and starts working as a partner. You don't need more hours. You need clearer ownership of the ones you already have. As the routine continues and time becomes more intentional, there comes a phase that confuses most people. The phase where effort increases but results remain invisible. Psychologically, this is uncomfortable because the brain is wired to look for feedback. When it doesn't see clear rewards, it assumes the routine isn't working. This is where many people quietly quit, not because they failed, but because they misunderstood how progress works. Real progress often happens beneath the surface. Skills are refining. Focus is strengthening. Identity is shifting. None of this is immediately visible, yet all of it is essential. Philosophically, this delay is not a problem. It's a filter. It separates those who trust the process from those who only trust what they can see. Successful people understand that consistency creates momentum long before it creates proof. They don't measure progress by daily results. They measure it by whether they showed up again. This mindset removes emotional pressure and replaces it with patience. Over time, the invisible work becomes visible almost all at once. What looked like slow growth suddenly appears inevitable. Most people stop because they think nothing is happening. Successful people continue because they know something is happening, even if it's quiet. If the results haven't appeared yet, don't doubt the routine. Doubt only means you're still early in the process. After enough repetition, the routine stops feeling like something you do and starts feeling like something you are. This is the final separation point. Most people never reach it because they abandon the routine too early, right before it has the chance to reshape identity. Psychologically, the brain looks for consistency between behavior and self-image. When the same actions are repeated daily, the mind adjusts the identity to match them. You no longer need willpower to act. You act because it aligns with who you believe you are. This is why successful people don't rely on constant effort or motivation. Their habits have become default behavior. They don't ask themselves whether they should work, focus, or improve. It's already decided. Philosophically, this is how simplicity turns into power. Repeated actions become character, and character determines outcomes. What looks like discipline from the outside feels like normal behavior from the inside. At this stage, success doesn't feel dramatic. It feels logical. The results make sense because they match the routine that produced them. The gap between effort and outcome disappears, replaced by a steady sense of direction and control. Most people try to change their life by aiming higher. Successful people change their life by becoming consistent. You don't rise to success by force. You grow into it by repeating what works until it becomes who you are.